Look, this morning, Bell's president and CEO Mirko Bibic was at the Canadian Club here in Montreal talking about something that perhaps not a lot of us have realized that Bell is involved in. And by the way, full disclosure, he is president of BCE. BCE owns Bell. CJAD is part of Bell. Therefore, for all intents and purposes, he's my boss. So just full disclosure. Do I call you Mr. Bibic? Is that okay? What do you want me to call you?
Call me Mirko, please.
Okay.
Hi, Aaron.
Nice to have you, and thank you for taking the time. I know it's a busy day for you. I will mention, by the way, to people who don't know, you in fact are born and raised in Montreal.
That's right. Born in Montreal, raised in Longueuil on the South Shore. Went to McGill University. So, yes, I am a Montrealer.
Welcome home. All right. Now, of course, it's Toronto, but I want to talk about what you talked about today, which is AI, and explain how how Bell is involved in this, because I think one of the things you wanted to point out was that for the last 2 years, Bell basically has been reinventing itself, right? How's that happened, or how's it happening?
Yeah, so we are a completely different company than we were even 2 short years ago. A lot of momentum, completely kind of energized, and it's around 4 strategic pillars, Aaron, and I'll be quick here, but first of all, it's making sure that we deliver what customers want. The second priority is to continue to deliver the best fiber internet services and the best 5G wireless services. The third one is to essentially be a leader in AI, to deliver AI solutions to our public sector, government, and Canadian companies, so AI solutions to the public sector and companies. And the fourth one, very germane to CJAD, is we have become a digital media and content company. So it's all forward-looking, following the customers where they want to go, and in the case of media, is just delivering what viewers and listeners want from us, which is the best content on digital platforms.
So we are doing more and more of that all the time, right? We post stuff to the internet. We have YouTube videos up there. That's obviously what you're speaking about. That's the future of this business as you're concerned?
That's correct. That's exactly the future of this business. So in case of Bell Media, the three core pillars of growth are Crave, so it's premium content on digital platforms, sports, RDS and TSN, of course, available the traditional way, but more and more you can interact with those sports services through our apps, and news delivered in real time on digital platforms. And we've become the number one digital news publisher in the country, which is not something we could have said a couple of years ago. So that's quite exciting. And think about radio, and iHeart. Being able to listen to any station you want in the BCE, in the Bell Media family on iHeart, no matter where you are at any time, is exactly what I'm talking about.
So does that mean I won't have to come into work eventually? I can be anywhere I want in the world as long as it's on a digital platform somewhere, that's fine?
Well, I think we want you in studio. It's the customer that I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I was just checking in case things were changing. I wasn't paying attention. I take, by the way, note that you're talking or spoke today in Montreal, and you actually pointed out about Quebec, and this is something we don't hear an awful lot about this anymore anyway, about Quebec being an exceptional hub here.
It's an incredible hub of innovation, and just generally speaking, I'm not talking about Bell now, there's an incredible amount of talent, super strong universities, an entrepreneurial culture. So in one sense, that's what I was talking about today, and in the other sense, just reinforcing that for close to 150 years, we've been connecting Canadians in the country to the latest technologies, communications technologies, or other types of technologies, and the home base of that throughout that entire close to 150-year existence has been right here in Montreal, and the core of our technology services business now, which includes AI, is in Montreal.
The other thing that has been talked about, we had Evan Solomon on the show not that long ago, the whole idea, and I know this is something going on right now in the U.S. as well, and you talked about this, the idea of harnessing not just the full potential of AI, but what you referred to as a sovereign AI ecosystem. Explain what that means exactly.
Yeah, so what I'm getting at there is, you have to accept that AI is a fundamentally transformational technology. It's as transformational today as the kind of the launch or advent of the internet was all those years ago, decades ago. I mean, it's that revolutionary, and we really need to lean into AI to ensure that the Canadian economy continues to prosper. Then the notion comes in of, okay, if that's the case, who do we want, to be in control of AI development in Canada? Because at the end of the day, what matters the most is data. Data is what essentially creates the superpower of economic development. So who do we want to have in control of core data, whether or not it's financial data, medical data, national security data, intellectual property? And so what sovereignty means is, don't we want Canadian companies to be leading in AI? Don't we want to be using Canadian providers in AI? Don't we want Canadian companies to kind of control or govern our data? And essentially, it boils down to one question. At the most critical times, don't we want to rely on Canadian providers so that no one outside Canada can turn Canada off? That's the issue.
I wonder, though, as you say that. So obviously, the mega companies like Meta, for example, they have an opportunity, or I don't know if they do or don't, to look into Canada and say, you know what, it's a relatively small market as far as they're concerned, 40 some odd million people. Is there a concern that those companies get too much involved in Canada's AI strategy, or at least in our communication strategy?
So from a communications point of view, and we've got solid multiple, internet providers and wireless providers in the country that are fully Canadian. So from that point of view, I think we're on solid ground. Okay. As it relates to the technologies that use the internet, what I highlighted today in the speech was we at Bell have put together a consortium, an ecosystem of Canadian partners that can provide the full suite of AI services to customers, governments, and companies, with the assurance that all of it is leading edge, all of it is built in Canada for Canadians, and Canadian companies would be in control of our customers' data. So we put together a fully Canadian solution for AI.
All right, so we're not going to have to worry. I'm sure the government's obviously aware of this as well. We're not going to have to worry about Americans coming in and trying to take control of Canadian companies here. We have rules in place and laws in place already.
So, the way we can make this work is rely more and more on Canadian companies to provide the full suite of AI services, as I just mentioned.
Yeah.
At the same time, we all need to recognize that there's some amazing technology that's delivered by, companies outside Canada, including the hyperscalers, a couple of the companies that you've mentioned here. We don't want to disconnect ourselves from the world and from the rest of globally leading technology, but there is a way to sustain and nourish a Canadian ecosystem of AI companies while at the same time, for certain purposes, using global technology and making the two work together. That is possible.
I want to just shift. We're going to run out of time. I did want to mention, so we're talking about AI here, how, the company at Bell anyway is completely reinventing itself, as you said off the top. When you say I to some people, there's sometimes panic. Because as much as AI is becoming a bigger and bigger part of people's lives and technology, certainly, we don't really know how the future is going to play out. And when it comes to places like, take, for example, a radio station, right? The concern is, will AI replace actual human beings because it has the ability to do so? Do you see that as a possibility down the road?
Well, I'm pretty certain that AI is here to stay. And I'm also pretty confident that those who embrace AI will be even more effective at what they do. So in the case of, for example, creation of content, we can use AI to more efficiently produce the content and distribute it more widely, which would make those who are creating that content even more kind of relevant, and making sure that the audience is there in even larger numbers. So I think it's something we should embrace to make the people who are producing that content even better at it, and that's the way I look at it. So
that this entire interview has not actually been me. This has been AI.
Not quite yet.
Okay, just checking. Listen, I want to thank you so much for the time. I very much do appreciate it. And welcome back to Montreal. Enjoy the lovely snowy day that you ended up with. Although if you were in Toronto, apparently it would be worse. So
I've been here all week, so it's okay. But thank you for taking the time with me, Aaron.
I appreciate the time so much. Thanks again. Mirko Bibic, he is the president and CEO of BCE, our parent company here at Bell. And apparently, I still have a job.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.